Hi everybody, and welcome back to Chapter 3. And in our PowerPoint here, we're going to be looking at those adjusting accounts for financial statements, which you've got a good warm-up with the files that I provided, and I will include those in the module in supplemental files. Okay, so let's get started. Here, our learning objectives are we're going to take a look at periodic reporting and how we accrue these adjusting entries. We'll look at the same ones that we did in the Excel files that I showed you. And we'll explain the importance of this periodic reporting and how important accrual accounting is. As you know, or have been exposed to previously, we break the accounting periods down into time periods, usually monthly, but it doesn't have to be monthly, sometimes quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. So accrual basis accounting is where the revenues are recorded when the products or services are delivered. I call that earned, and expenses when they are incurred. Key philosophy here. Cash basis, we record the revenues when we get the cash. We record the expenses when we pay the cash. Pretty simple for cash basis. However, as it will say later, accrual basis accounting is consistent with generally accepted accounting principles, and cash basis is not. So let's take a look at an example. So if we prepay some insurance here for $2,400 for 24 months, beginning December 1, 2021, if we match the expense with the periods benefited by that, we're going to put $100 of expense in each of the months of 2022 and 2023, and $100 in 2021. Let's review how we did that. So what we're going to do, using a cash basis, all we would do is simply record that we had insurance expense of $2,400 with a debit and credit cash in 2021 on December 1st. So that would put all of that $2,400 in December 2021. The revenue recognition principle requires that our revenue be recorded when the goods or services are earned, in this case provided to customers, at an amount expected to be received from customers. The expense recognition or matching principles requires that the expenses be recorded in the same accounting period as the revenues that are recognized as a result of those expenses. This matching of expenses with revenue is revenue benefits is a major part of the adjusting process. So here, there's 4 types of adjustments. I showed depreciation in my file as a 5th, but here they call it a little bit differently in terminology. We have a deferral of expense, a deferral of revenue, an accrued expense, and an accrued revenue. So we use this process to determine what the account balance should equal, and then we make our adjusting entry. So let's see how that works. First, we'll look at the deferral of expenses. Here, we're prepaying or deferring something like prepaid insurance or prepaid rent or even supplies. So we have an unadjusted balance in assets that are overstated because we've used up some of that prepaid insurance, rent, or supplies. Let's see how that works. So we're going to debit an expense and credit an asset to adjust that. So initially, we've debited prepaid insurance for $2,400 and probably paid cash for that. And we're going to show that as a prepaid insurance as an asset. Now, after 1 month, in this case at the end of December, we're going to recognize that 1 month's worth of insurance has expired or been used up. So we're going to debit insurance expense and credit prepaid insurance for $100. And when we do that, the prepaid insurance balance will now be reduced to $2,300. And that's shown on this slide here. The balance sheet's going to show $2,300. That's 23 months of insurance that is unexpired and remaining to be used. And that income statement in December is going to show $100 of insurance that is expired, or as I call it, been used up. And here we show T accounts to replicate what the general ledger is going to look like at the end of December. And we show the journal entry that we would record to accrue that insurance expense. Okay, so supplies. Let's take a look at that example. Here, if we purchase supplies in December, and some of those supplies are used during December, so a physical count performed on 12/31 shows that unused supplies, that's what we inventoried, is $86.70. Now, this also assumes that there's nothing in beginning balance of supplies. So that equation would be, to calculate this, we're going to take beginning inventory of supplies. We're going to add the purchases during the month. That's going to be what's available. And then from the available, we're going to subtract our ending inventory, in this case, $86.70, and that will give us what we used. And what we use is what we're going to expense. So, how that looks is like this. We used $1,050. So we're going to debit supplies expense of $1,050, and we're going to credit supplies of $1,050. And as you see from the balance sheet account, it's going to show that our balance is $86.70, which is what we inventoried. Okay. And now we show that journal entry, debit to supplies expense, and we'll reduce the supplies asset by $1,050 here to record the fact we've used those supplies. Okay. Notice these T accounts, too, include a balance and the general ledger account number for those two accounts, supplies and supplies expense. Depreciation. They do include depreciation here. So instead of expensing the cost of a plant asset, equipment, building, cars, those kinds of things, we allocate or spread out the cost over their useful lives. This is called depreciation. So that formula, just like I explained in the Excel spreadsheet, is the asset cost, that includes all the costs necessary to place that asset into service, subtract the salvage value, and divide it by the useful life. So here, the example they use, FastForward is going to purchase some equipment for $26,000. It has a useful life of 5 years. The equipment is expected to be worth about $8,000 at the end of those 5 years. That's its salvage value. They purchased this equipment on December 1st, but it is now December 31st. So we've used up 1 month's worth of that. So How do we calculate that? We take the $26,000, we subtract the $8,000, that gives us $18,000, and we divide that $18,000 by 5 years, which is 60 months. And there is the calculation for that. The original cost, the salvage value, the depreciable cost or net cost of $18,000. Now we divide that $18,000 by 60, and that gives us $300. And from that $300, we are going to record our adjusting entry for 1 month. And that's going to be a debit to depreciation expense of $300. And the credit is to a new account for you called accumulated depreciation. This is what's called a contra asset account because it's shown on the left-hand side of the balance sheet in brackets and subtracted, in this case, from equipment of $26,000. So, at the end of December, our book value is going to be we'll do it after February. After February, now 3 months at $300 a month, accumulated depreciation has ratcheted up to $900. $300 for December, $300 for January, and then $300 for February. $900. We subtract that from equipment, as shown here, and the net book value is $25,100. Notice this in small print here, book value. Very important concept. And so what book value then is the original cost of the asset here, less accumulated depreciation, again a contra asset shown on the left-hand side of the balance sheet, but behaves like a right-hand side account. Okay. Now we'll take a look at preparing adjusting entries for the deferral of revenues. So when we defer revenues, I like to call this unearned revenue. Some people call it deferred revenue. Same thing. Here, we get paid in advance for providing a product as a manufacturer or services to a customer in advance. We haven't earned it yet. So we show that as a liability. We're going to debit a liability and credit a revenue account to use that up. Let's take a look at that. Here, we paid, a client paid us 60-day fee in advance, covering the end of December through the almost all of February. So we got the $3,000, so we debit cash, we credit the liability, unearned consulting revenue, and then we figure out that this is 60 days, so there's 5 days left in December. We have the 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. And so we take 5/60ths of that $3,000, or $250, and we record an adjusting entry to show that $250 has been earned. And what that does is it reduces the liability by $250, leaving a balance of $27.50, and increases our consulting revenue earned on the income statement by $250. And that is our journal entry for that. We're going to debit unearned, reducing the liability, and credit earned, increasing our earned revenue on the income statement. Okay, this looks like a good place to stop this video. When we come back, we'll take a look at the remaining accrual entries. Until then, bye for now.